Warning: mature content may be present within this video, such as strong language, sexual references, and suggestive themes. View at your own discretion.
Hello everyone, AtomicDudMan here. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Beware or Begone. Today we will be looking at the newly released RPG, Cyberpunk 2077, created by Projeckt Red. The entirety of this video will be spoiler-free, and we will have a brief spoiler section near the end of the video, but I will warn you to click off before it hits if you do not want the story spoiled for you. My latest video, it shows that 96.7% of you are not yet subscribed yet. So if you could please click that subscribe button, it really does help the channel out. What this channel is really about is about pure gaming news, game reviews, and a voice for the communities of a wish list of what we want and future upcoming titles within video games. I personally believe in quality over quantity for my channel, so I only upload one time a week. So if you would like to be notified when a video goes live, hit that small little bell icon down below. With that all being said, I hope you guys get to kick back, relax, and enjoy today's show. The game overview. Cyberpunk 2077 is an open-world action-adventure story set in Night City, a megatropolis obsessed with power, glamour, and body modification. You play as V, a mercenary outlaw going after a one-of-a-kind implant that is key to the immortality of mankind. The gameplay is very fun, with a lot of cyberware that you can upgrade V with, which enables the player to customize their V to their personal playstyle. The gaming loop is somewhat repetitive as any other game. Drive here, kill this person, drive here, do this brain dance sequence, which is practically an internet version of LA Noire that makes you this fucking goddamn detective, and it's just really annoying to play as an individual. Cyberpunk 2077's game length is decently long, but felt like it dragged the hell on each playthrough. The game felt like it kept dragging on and on and on. When I thought I was close to the end of the game, nope. Fucking an entirely new chapter opened up for me, and it just felt milked out. When it comes down to the quality of graphics in the game, they're really gorgeous when they aren't bugging out. But that's the beauty of being able to play on PC. The water in the game looks terrible, and it looks like they didn't invest any time or money into making the water look actually good, because they knew players would be spending most of their time within the city. Story, cutscenes, and voice acting are very well written within this game. They had really good talent within this game that made the characters feel very believable, and you could be very connected to them. I just really enjoyed the story, but I don't want to get into anything until we really hit the spoiler section near the end of this video. We're going to do something a little bit different with this video and show some pros, cons, and the technical issues that I personally came across throughout my playthrough. Pros. Something that was nice and warm and welcoming when I first played the game was the character creation menu. It's very detailed, intricate, well designed, and extremely personable for what it is. Where the game shines is through the great voice acting within the game. I personally loved seeing Johnny Silverhand progress as a character throughout the story and seeing him pop in from time to time. It was very nice to see. Within Cyberpunk 2077, what they hit the nail on the head is introducing meaningful and exciting side quests that are just very well crafted overall and have the feeling almost of the actual story, which could be a good or a bad thing, but I saw it as a good thing. It felt like I was playing more of the story just by playing side quests. Being an American muscle car enthusiast, I really have the appreciation of how much details in every single vehicle and the variety of vehicles that are based off of real life cars, such as the Dukes of Hazzard Dodge Challenger that was introduced into the game and the GT500 Mustang that's also present in the game, and it's sort of a wink to these cars. When it came down to vehicles, I found myself really gravitating towards motorcycles. I feel that motorcycles handled the best within the game, and I enjoyed driving them. The upgradability in this game is absolutely phenomenal. Being able to run super fast like Usain Bolt, do mega jumps, it's just really satisfying to actually feel a progression with your character by adding these certain types of upgrades. A feature that I was really worried about but was very impressed with when I got my hands on was the interesting and awesome perk system that they have within the game, and the abilities to make these diverse builds and playthroughs just add that much more to the game. And when it comes down to really upgrading your cyberware in the game, that there's fantastic types of cyberware, like giving you like these muscle arms or like, you know, mantis hands to deal more damages like melee that's always on your character. It's nice to have that in the game. It gives you more versatility with how missions are played, because sometimes within the game you lose all your weapons, and I had Mantis hands on my character, the Cyberware upgrade ability, and it helps me through that mission, believe it or not, to become successful and kill everybody without using stealth and just ripping them apart. A lot of people were distraught when CDPR announced that this was only going to be a first-person game and not a third-person view type of game like The Witcher 3 where the camera's over your shoulder. I think personally this was a very good move. I could not imagine what this game would have been like if they did have third person in the game. Something that just caught my eye immediately while playing the game, and I absolutely adored, was the combat cover and peeking. It's nice, it's simple, it's a great feature, and it just makes combat that much more fluid when you have multiple targets coming at you and you have to fight them off. Taking in the scenery within Night City is quite nice to do when the graphics aren't bugging out. The attention to detail is absolutely insane. When I was in a car during a rainy storm in first person view, you can see the rain flow trickle down the windows and hear the tapping of each individual raindrop on the windshield of the car and the roof of the vehicle in your headphones, and I thought this was an insane feature. Me originally being a console player and playing the Xbox from years as a little kid from the Xbox original all the way up until present day, and now I'm on PC instead of consoles, I really like to use a controller on the PC. Yeah, I know, PC guys. Ugh. Disgusting, right? But here, the controller in this game I was really impressed with. On the controller, it allows you to actually toggle on, and all you have to do is hold your left thumbstick down if you already clicked it to continue sprinting, so you're not like holding your thumb down, giving yourself thumb cramps by running through the city. This is a really nice feature, and it made running around the city a lot easier. When it comes down to slicing and dicing, dismemberment with sharp melee weapons in this game is gruesomely satisfying. There's lots of gore with melee weapons and cutting people's arms off and their heads off, and I just love it. This is a very adult game, but me being a little immature, there's a lot of fun and funny nudity within the game and adult toys scattered everywhere. There's more adult toys in this game than that of Saints Row the Third. It's ridiculous. Something that's really cool is Cyberware. The more you upgrade your body, changes your body's physical appearance, especially with your arms in the game. If you upgrade your arms in any type of way, there's different types of looks that your arms can go through, your hands and knuckles, when you're doing scenes and stuff in the game with your hands, that change the physical appearance of your arm, which is really neat. I know I may be a simpleton for this, but this is just one detail I love to see in my RPG games, and that's being able to look directly down at the ground and see my character's entire lower body. The one dialogue option I really loved within this game were the fun and funny interactions with all characters when you're the merc with a mouth, almost similar to Deadpool. The way you become a merc with a mouth is you have a cool level within the game that you can upgrade, and that cool level makes you a merc with a mouth, and you say the funniest snarky shit ever in dialogue that's optional, and I fucking love that. Something CDPR nailed on the head. Seeing that you're going to be driving around a ton within this title, they made the radio stations very interesting, fun, engaging. The music, there's tons of variety of different types of licensed music in the game. There's all types of music that's in the game. It's just a very refreshing experience to see an open world game like this bring radio stations back that are really good. I just haven't seen as good of a radio stations or music within a game where I'm tapping my foot or nodding my head or getting amped up to do a mission just by listening to the radio within the game. That hasn't happened for me since Saints Row 1 and 2 with their soundtracks that they had on the radio, and that was a long time ago. Being American, we love our guns, and one thing that this game does really well is that firearms are very well detailed and crafted. You can see individual parts of the gun and the buttons that you typically push down on the sides of the pistol to take the gun apart if you were to actually clean them within the game. And that attention to detail was kind of fascinating for me. For the art design department for the weapons, I was like, wow, I haven't seen this in video games before, and seeing this as more of a futuristic take on guns, I was pretty impressed to see those small details of how we take apart guns within modern day are still within the game. The only thing that kept me into this game, and the game does fantastic, phenomenal, whatever you want to say, it does absolutely perfect, is make voice acted characters feel alive. From their slouching, their body movements such as shifting in a seat or leaning their hand against their face and so on, it just adds the authenticity that you're speaking to an actual person within the game, and it's just that more immersive. The next part is cons. This is where I'm going to brutally criticize this game and rip it to shreds, because what has happened within this title is unacceptable, especially with that of CDPR. Cons. One thing that I noticed is cars have very loose and sloppy handling, feels like you're driving on butter, and it has terrible turn radiuses in almost every vehicle that I've ever driven in this game. The lack of cosmetic car customization, such as the interior, exterior colors and designs, or just even plain wraps we could put on a car that were preset by CDPR, is just not in the game and takes away from the customization and personability with each vehicle that you have. The one thing I hated the most about this fucking game are these stupid ass brain dance scenes that are boring, they're fucking annoying, they're tedious, and it takes me out of the gaming experience entirely. And I remember my first time playing, I was like, wow, that fucking sucked. I didn't like doing that. I hope there's not many more of those in the game. And then Cyberpunk's over there. Hold my beer. I hated this. I wish it wasn't in the game. It's just filler, and it's not a good type of filler either. Vehicles that you purchase within the game are not organized by class, price, or anything. They're all compiled into a long list, A through Z, of cars to choose from, and it's just hard to navigate quickly of the vehicles that you like the most if you bought a ton of cars like I did within the game. For a game based around you having the option to do what you want and customizing and catering to your needs as a player, you cannot select a favorite vehicle to just quick call. You have to manually go into the menu, scroll down, select a vehicle, and then wait for it to drive to you. Vehicle damage was very strange and inconsistent during my playthrough. The durability was really insane or really shitty. With crashes, it was kind of insane at first, but against weapons, your car just gets melted. Playing as male V, there's only like 1 to 2 romance options for him. Something that needs to change is the brakes and suspension on expensive vehicles either need to be upgraded and tweaked by developers, or introduce some sort of upgradability mechanic within the game where we can upgrade the vehicles to be better, or something of that nature. One thing that I never thought I would physically see visually within this game is 3 to 4 of the exact same model of citizens throughout the world on the streets, more or less scattered around. But this, I saw 4 of the exact same model side by side, like just a group of them placed down and they all look the same, and I was like, huh, that's shitty. That's something you'd see in a game from like 2002. The pedestrians in this game are the dumbest lot of motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. If you jump around a lot in the streets, pedestrians will run away like you tried to murder them. When developers were hyping up this game, the romance option feature within the game was so overhyped and blown out of proportion. I thought this game was going to be better than Dragon Age Inquisition on romance options, but I was fucking dead wrong. Romance options were said to be vast and extensive and complex. You only have 2 romance options as male street kid V. You only have 2 as a male nomad of V. A lot more avenues are focused for females in this area, but not as extensive as I personally would have liked it to be. You cannot sleep with romance options more than once unless it is a joy toy / prostitute that you see on the street, and that CGI trailer of you having a one night stand back at your apartment. You can't sleep with anyone at your apartment that I know of in my playthrough. Did you find anything? I sure as hell didn't. Another part of the game that was way blown out of proportion and overhyped are life paths. Street Kid, Corpo, Nomad life paths are not as diverse as we thought they'd be. They're extremely overhyped, and they're almost practically the exact same in the line of story aspects. The only difference that I really noticed was the fucking prologue and how you were introduced and being a mercenary. That's it. And when it comes down to the fucking prologues, guess what, guys? They showed us all the fucking prologues before the game even released of the Street Kid, of fucking the Corpo, and of the Nomad. So that was spoiled right away. They left too much of the game fucking out there, which I was afraid they were gonna do with all these little gameplay trailers and teasers and shit. And some of the teasers that they showed in the game were actually fucking cutscenes. And full missions in the game. Like, come on, guys. When I want to go and get a drink at a bar in the game, I want to be able to sit down and drink at the bar in the game, not just buy a drink and consume it with zero animations like it's Skyrim, where I'm drinking a fucking potion. In this game, I expected to be able to go and sit down, like you're able to in missions, mind you, so this would not have been a hard feature to add into the game just for you to go do on your own. You're able to sit down and drink a fucking beer or whiskey or do shots. And this, it just doesn't allow you to do it, and it was a really big feature. I was really shocked wasn't in the game. Also, liking tattoos and the art of tattoos, there's not that many tattoo selections within the game. It doesn't seem they went really all out with tattoos in this game. They went out more with other cosmetic features, but it's kind of odd to me that there was only like 5 or 6 different types of tattoo sets you could do. You couldn't just do a full sleeve on one arm or one on the other, or do individual tattoos. There were just like these sets of mash tattoos that you could throw on your character that were very random. The downfall of the vehicles in this game isn't just that it feels like you're driving on butter like it's fucking GTA 4, but it also has to do with the cosmetic nitro that's in the vehicles, but you can't use them. It's all just for cosmetics and used for looks, and I absolutely was like, what the fuck? Why you put nitro in the cars and you can't use it in the game? That would have been an awesome ass feature, but the game can't fucking run it. So that's probably why that feature wasn't included in the game. Go too fast, you're gonna fucking crash. Not in the game, but your game itself will fucking crash. Another standard I find myself just feeling that should be in every game nowadays, that's open world, single player, RPG, whatever. A new standard that I believe should be out there is hair growth systems. Your hair should grow in every and any game you play in, period. One major injustice of this game is you unlock these awesome and unique looking outfits at the end of the game, but you don't unlock them to reuse in another playthrough. This is a major missed opportunity to only have these unique outfits used as a cosmetic feature at the end game instead of us being able to use them through another playthrough. It's specific just to that end game, and if you completed the game, you don't have access to these nice, awesome looking outfits, and it's really a big shame. You think it's a really good idea to buy that nice new flashy car in Cyberpunk. It's so cool, it's fast, it turns slightly better than the other cars, brakes slightly better than the other cars, and it just is so cool, sounds better. But in a high-speed crash with these fucking expensive, insanely fast vehicles, it blows up instantly on impact no matter what you do, even if you just fucking feather something, I swear. Me and my buddy were playing this game and we noticed this shit with our high-speed cars. They just blow up. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's just fucking a shitty game design of high-speed cars. The exotic cars in this game are like fucking delicate little flowers. You fucking tap one thing, boom, you're fucking dead. You're reloading from a fucking autosave on the street and have to redo a sequence or something like that. It's infuriating. It's fucking annoying. It's awful. Like I said before, here's another example of pedestrians being dumb as a box of rocks. If you park your car on the curb, on the road, the AI will just sit there and not attempt to even move around the vehicle. This is a rookie driving mistake and mechanic within the game. GTA San Andreas AI was able to do this back in 2004, and CD Projekt Red can't get this done in 2020? Are you shitting me? Anyway, another joke of this game was the fucking wanted system. I was so scared in the beginning to piss these guys off, and then when I got higher and higher level, I fucking wipe these guys off the playing board. And when you do wipe these guys out, you lose your wanted level almost instantly. So it doesn't really matter if you get your wanted level or not. There's no really repercussions for fucking gunning down the entire street and being a mass murderer. Nothing happens. There is no consequences, and it is painstakingly hilarious on how shitty this feature is in the game. Again, for a game that's all about customization, you're unable to change your haircut or hair color after you choose it in the beginning of the game. Your character's locked into however you look the first time. So you better make that first time count, because as of right now, you can't change your haircut or your hair color in the game. I guess all barbers and implant places just don't do that type of shit anymore. Another thing when it comes to customization, why can't we have bionic arms like Johnny Silverhand or bionic legs that just do way more than what you can do? Why can't we make our entire bodies similar to that of a machine? I just want to be able to have the option to be as much machine or as less of a machine as I'd want to be, or even be a moderate machine in the middle to make my character even that more overpowered within the higher levels. I think that would be a really fun thing to do, to have an overpowered build within the game like that. But then that's where you run into issues of balancing issues, but the developers that would have to work those types of kinks out. Driving around with AI during the story mode just feels extremely slow and very jaunting. When you're trying to sit there, it says they're going 80 miles an hour, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like they're going 10, and it's just very, very annoying to have to sit through that and wait. One thing that is nice if they're going to a long distance location is that you can have the feature to skip the car ride, which is nice as hell. In the beginning of the game, I didn't realize that was there, so my dumbass was sitting there waiting to get to the final destination all the way through that when I could have just skipped it, and I'm glad I did. Something that was very clunky and just didn't mesh well was hand-to-hand combat. It was very clunky and just slow, rigid. Even with the brawler tree maxed out, I just couldn't find myself ever using my fists. I just absolutely hated it. It was awful. This game was just missing a ton of features that was promised and just not delivered, and that's the biggest con of Cyberpunk. There's just missing features. And the next issue of this, I'm going to add this to the con list, is we're going to segue into all the technical issues this game faces at launch. All these technical issues I'm about to list to you, I personally experienced myself. So here are the technical issues of Cyberpunk 2077 that I played through a 44-hour playthrough. Cars have the tendency to just no-clip through the ground even when they're just driving. It's like they're driving on almost like a different level in the ground, but you see the tops of their cars just skirting around town. Here's something that happened after the updates. Me and my buddy were just sitting in Discord. I was typing up the script for this game in Discord with him for the review, and he just started yelling and enraged. He got stuck in a phone call and had to reload his save. He reloaded and then got stuck in a map screen. Then he quit the game to get out of the map screen. And then after that, he's just like, fuck this, I'm going to bed. I don't have time for this shit. And it was ridiculous. That's insane. Back to back to back to back fucking glitches like that. That's unheard of for a brand new 2020 title, and that's in the game. That's fucking abysmal. And while we speak about no clipping and stuff like that, my car sometimes just no clip through the ground while I was driving, and it scared the shit out of me, because I drive in third person view because I hated driving in first person view. I just couldn't do it. I like to drive in third person view for the vehicles and to see where I was at, and just sometimes my car would just sink into the ground really quick and then pop back up. An issue my Patreon actually faced was he was unable to complete the brain dance process through the prologue. When you first are introduced to brain dances, it was bugged for him on launch day where he couldn't progress, so he waited like 3 days to actually play the game so he didn't have to just reload the save. Another thing one of my subscribers faced was that trees would permaglitch onto the screen, so wherever he looked he saw trees on his screen, even if he was inside of a fucking building. Oh my god. It's a running meme at this point, but AI models, outfits, and facial features look like block-like and blurry within the game sometimes, and then they would render into their normal look. But it's very game-breaking and very immersion-breaking when this happened. Mouth syncing within this game is sometimes inconsistent. I've noticed it's gotten better with the updates Frame rate issues and drops are a lot higher when driving at these higher speeds in these vehicles, and there's noticeable lag within the game when combat gets really busy and intense. A lot of my time with this game, I would say, had to be in loading screens. I had to reload entire sequences because of a completion bug. The game didn't recognize that I completed certain tasks within missions, even though they were completed, and I would just have to start over again. A very strange bug that I came across was that characters' dialogue would overlap at times in the game, so you had no idea it was just someone just said it. Just sounded like a bunch of mumbled, jumbled stuff into one line, just people talking over each other. It sounded somewhat actually like this right here.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Subscribe and comment
show
like
today
down
here.
below. Me having to edit that in this actual software is really difficult to do, so I don't know how that type of bug, audio bug, would be in the game. It's insane. It's insane how many bugs are in this game. Sometimes dialogue won't even play, and you'll just have to sit there until someone of an ally just starts talking very late into a sequence of dialogue, and you're just completely lost. One thing that this game does right is that they have subtitles on all the time so that you know what the fuck is going on. If I didn't have subtitles, I would have been screwed. I'd been fucked. Because sometimes this happened a lot for me. Happened at the beginning of the game, happened at the end of the game. At the end of the game, people's voices weren't even coming through. It was just dialogue on the screen that I had to read off, and I was like, feels like I'm playing Fallout 3 again. And that's not the experience I signed up for. Early on within the game, I hit a pole while driving and flew like 120 feet in the air, and I hit a citizen at one time, and instead of killing them, it flipped my car upside down, and I couldn't flip my car back over, and I was just stuck there, and the actual roof of the vehicle clipped through the ground, and I was like, well, I'm fucked, and I just walked away from my vehicle. While driving really fast in the game, AI vehicles and citizens will just randomly spawn in front of your car while driving at these high speeds, and you just fucking mow them down. Sometimes just going into a screen and out too fast removes the actual point on the map and glitches the map, so it zooms in really close to the map, but you can't see your marker, you can't see the path you have to take, or even where you're at, or your pointer on the map, and I would just have to sit there and wait like 2 or 3 minutes for the map to situate itself out, so I knew where the hell I was going in this fucking giant city. Out of the countless miserable brain dance experiences, I noticed a visual bug of the headgear that you put on for the actual headset for the brain dance. It became invisible instead of seeing it in front of, like the little strobe lights in front of me that can cause people to have seizures in the game. It was stuck right there, and there's nothing there. It was just invisible. And I just saw like small particles and pieces of where the headgear should be. There's at least over 50 trees, just like actual trees in this game, that are floating. They're just all around the map, everywhere. They're not placed into the ground. It's like someone just threw them out there and is like, all right, we'll put them into the ground later, and it's just floating. It looks like I could go into the editor software and just need to fucking drag them down into the ground so that they're in the fucking ground. They're just floating. There's like a foot, not like a legit foot of how high. There's just nothing there. There's just blankness, and you can see the tree floating in the air. It's ridiculous. This game loves its floating features that weren't supposed to be features. They're just more bugs. I had floating pedestrians walking above my head on the street, like fucking crowds of them. Not just like 1 or 2, like fucking 10 of them, just up there in the clouds, just walking above my head. I was like, that's strange. I was driving so fast in this game, they spawned a car in the middle of the intersection of the game, and I T-boned this guy. This would have fucking killed who was ever in that vehicle. I literally went right, I no-clipped through the whole car. I saw my whole car travel frame by frame when it glitched through the other vehicle, because the frame dropped when I smashed into this person, them spawning and me colliding with them, and the game didn't know what to do, so it just put me through the fucking vehicle. One thing that was absolutely infuriating was I constantly got the "you are leaving the signal range" stuck on the screen after every brain dance I completed in this game. I also got the "you are overheating" stuck on the screen when netrunners were trying to fry your circuits in combat. And nextly, I also got, when I was looking at gear and stuff on the ground off of dead bodies. I'd have gear just stuck on my screen for a mission or two until like the game put me into a different sequence talking to other people, and then it would kind of just fix itself. So in the beginning of the game, you become friends with this netrunner named Judy. She's only a romanceable option for female V for the lesbian option within the game. And when this happened, I was sitting there for a mission and it says, wait for Judy to talk to you. I looked fucking everywhere. She's nowhere around. I was like, okay, maybe I need to take out my phone and call her. I tried to call her, beep, beep, beep. She wouldn't pick up. And I was like, okay. I saved my game and I literally just reloaded it, and lo and behold, she fucking spawned. I was like, wow, this game doesn't even spawn the people into their fucking mission locations within this game. What is this? That's fucking insane. That's just crazy, dude. That's fucking crazy. How do you not have your character spawn in the right location so you can fucking do the mission? Are you kidding me? In the beginning of the game, your first side quest pops up of you doing like bare knuckle boxing. I did all these other bare knuckle boxing matches throughout the game, and the game would not allow me to hit my target in these matches or cause any type of damage to the fucking opponent. They just drained my health and I'd have to restart over and over and over, and it just became so goddamn annoying having to do this. Like, I couldn't punch them in their fucking heads. So there's an attachment in the game called the Cyberdeck that allows you to add certain things to your character. It was never shown for me throughout the game, and to complete the mission, the gift, I still couldn't equip the Cyberware or the Cyberdeck because it was fucking bugged for me. So I went my first entire playthrough without a Cyberdeck and didn't even know that was a part of the game, and it was an entire feature that was just gone for me because of a fucking bug. One time I stepped out of the elevator, I paused the game to set a marker on my map, then I unpause. I moved like 5-10 feet forward on the street and I fell straight down through the map and just looked up and saw myself descending lower and lower into the map. I was like, huh, well that's fucking neat. That's what the map looks like from underneath, huh? One thing that just entirely took me out of the game and pretty much made me give up on this game after the playthrough. I'm never going to visit this game again, and this was the cherry on top. The camera span around countless times in first person view during any type of interaction. I mean, putting a bag somewhere or grabbing something, and I can see my character's face not there. He's just headless. Your camera floating on your body, that's it, and you don't have your face there throughout the game. And I was like, okay, so what people think I look like, I'm just a fucking head without anything. So doesn't really matter. Here's just a quick fun one for you as we're nearing the end of the technical issues that I personally experienced. Is my character just had his penis no clip through his pants and was like flopping around throughout the game, and I didn't notice it for hours. And when I went to my character menu to customize and put on clothing and stuff, I just saw his cock just flailing about out around his pants, and I was like, huh, great. That's cool. So the game is pretty much like I have my dick flopping around everywhere and no one told me in the game. It just breaks immersion so much, just that tiny bug. It just ugh. Oh my god. And here is the last one. This is my favorite one, actually. Now, I'm going to show you this one on screen because this one's just so phenomenal, guys. I was able to jump up on a ledge and clip through a building and see the entire world. Just through jumping up on a ledge and into a window. I was able to do that. Look at this right here. Isn't it remarkable? Isn't it just a beautiful wonder looking at the map from underneath? Wow. That's amazing. Crazy, man. That's crazy. Wow. Personally, waiting for this game has been an emotional roller coaster. When it was first announced, I was pissed because I just was craving another Witcher game. I wanted another Witcher game. I knew that Geralt's end was near. That was the end of his story, and we could have a character that's similar to V in this game where we get to choose our own story, but within the Witcher universe as our own Witcher, and I thought that was very enticing. But when I saw the marketing for Cyberpunk, I became neutral about the game from that point on. Then I started seeing the beautiful, pretty CGI footage, and I was fully on board. I was like, oh yeah, that game looks dope. If that's how it even remotely is, I'm down. But now I'm disappointed by one of my favorite developers, and here comes the sad truth for Cyberpunk 2077. The final verdict is a concrete 5.9 out of 10. 59% and ruling this game as a Begone Demon. Begone. Cyberpunk 2077 is a disgusting, misleading lie and a slap to the face of all CD Projekt Red's fan base. The amount of bugs is overwhelming and disgraceful coming from CDPR, and they should be ashamed of themselves for releasing a game in this type of state. They blatantly tried to hide how Cyberpunk ran on PS4 and Xbox One hardware. They drove vehicles extremely slow within trailers to minimize the chance of showing frame rate drops because the game cannot handle the high speeds of the vehicles they created. CDPR pulled a EA financial move with the sell now and fix later mentality of the game, and many of you know that shit fucking pisses me off beyond belief with these fucking gaming companies lately. CDPR's public relation manager came out to apologize for the company and offer refunds momentarily to its customers until they go on holiday break. They should offer refunds of the game until Cyberpunk 2077 is in a playable state again, and take that option away after the game is actually playable on all platforms, regardless of what anyone says or how long they played the game for or owned it for. CDPR overpromised and underdelivered with Cyberpunk, which is shocking to say the least, coming from such an overhyped game I've ever personally seen. This game was so overhyped, and it fucking missed the mark by miles, fucking thousands of miles, which is absolutely sad to see from CDPR. For a game allegedly being in development for 8 years, it's in pretty piss poor condition. Shows that a company that's known for fantasy and the Witcher titles should stick with what they know, honestly. Sword games and horses and mystical creatures. Stay away from shooters, stay away from cars, stay away from anything futuristic, because I'm sorry, this game is absolutely a humiliation for CDPR. As of right now, to anyone that's listening to this video on December 16th of 2020, I would really advise against to just stay clear of this game and urge you to try and request a refund before the holidays hit. This was the most anticipated game of 2020, and it really suits 2020 for rounding out a shitty year, as it was a shitty gaming year and has ended with tons of delays until 2021. Stay tuned, please, after these quick messages for my Patreons, and we will get into the spoiler section. Here's a brief and quick shout out to my supporters and Patreons. If you would like to become a member today, that would be absolutely awesome. It helps me out a ton, guys. The link is down in the description below. But here is a special thank you to LJK1232. Spoilers ahead. I repeat, there are spoilers ahead. You have been warned. If you do not want anything to be spoiled, click off the video now if you do not want the game to be spoiled for you. But here is the spoiler section. You have been warned. The favorite ending I chose to go with was the Pan Am love story ending as a street kid. It was a much more satisfying ending. You survive but have limited time, and you become a nomad and leave your home of Night City with your newfound love set on trying to find a way to save you elsewhere, crossing the border into Arizona with your new crew of nomads. This ending gave hope to the story and potentially continuation as V within the game, but as of right now, I honestly do not give a fuck about another game that CDPR makes for how bad this one was. I momentarily have lost faith in CD Projekt Red and will buy all CDPR titles on GOG so I can return them in the time I need to if I absolutely despise them. The alternative route that you can choose is you can use Pan Am, and you could choose to give your body to Johnny Silverham, which is a huge slap in Pan Am's and the Nomads' faces. This route also means that everything you worked for within the game was fucking meaningless. I absolutely hated this ending. It was depressing because you play an epilogue of Johnny Silverhand, which is dope because he has this cool new punk rocker look on V, and it looks super badass, but you can't use that through another playthrough, which totally fucking blows. But depressing when Johnny makes a memorial for V in a graveyard just to remember him by. But it's nice to see Johnny appreciates his sacrifice, which is kind of poetic, but I still wasn't a fan of this ending. If they were to make another game just playing as Johnny Silverhand, I just would really love that. They could use this ending and just resculpt his face, because you can do that in the world of Cyberpunk. You can change to look like anyone, sound like anyone, be like anyone. And I'd really love to be Johnny Silverhand. The Johnny Silverhand segments within this game were awesome. I'd love to play a prequel, standalone game as Johnny Silverhand, and due to Keanu Reeves' stellar performance in Cyberpunk 2077, it would be awesome just to experience that again. I loved Keanu's play in this entire game and his acting abilities in it. It was great. You know, I felt the emotion behind Johnny Silverhand. Sometimes I just fucking hated him. Sometimes I loved him. But at the end of the story, I understood Johnny Silverhand overall, I felt like, and his arc was really given a lot of attention to detail too, which I appreciated. If you choose to side with Hanako Arasaka as a street kid, it wasn't my most favorable ending, but this is the first ending I ended up with. You end up at an orbital space station and either get to choose between one of two fates. The fate of becoming like Johnny Silverhand and being a subconscious copied onto a chip and becoming an engram. Then you can later be resurrected in the future when technology catches up with that. Or you can go back to Earth and live out the rest of your days until you perish. This ending just wasn't that good. You just black out holding the bullet that was shot in the back of your head and looking at Earth from a space station, and that's the end of the game. It just was very dissatisfying. I hope personally that this video does age out and that the game becomes a success, but it's just ridiculous the state it's in. I don't think anyone should buy this game and show CDPR that it's okay to do this sort of thing to any of their games. I wouldn't have cared if they would have delayed this game another year. I wouldn't have cared if they early released PC, they fucking released PS5 and Xbox X Series, and then said, hey guys, we need to delay the last generation consoles because the quality just isn't there right now. And people would have been upset, people would have canceled pre-orders, but it would not have been deceiving to its player base and stabbing us in the fucking backs after all we fucking hyped this company up to be. Everyone loved this company. Hell, I loved this company too. I was a huge fanboy until this game just spit in my fucking eyes, and started jerking off yeah, fuck you, bro. It's depressing. It's depressing to see CDPR fall from grace just as Bethesda did in this PR tragedy of a game of Cyberpunk 2077. In the light of all that hatred and darkness, if you did enjoy today's show, please do make sure to hit that subscribe button, because 96.7% of you are not yet subscribed, and I'd love to see you around the channel more often. Also, what have you experienced in Cyberpunk 2077? What issues have you faced? Did you get it on console? Were you conned? Let me know down in the comments section below. Make sure to hit that tiny little itty bitty bell icon to get notified once a week of when a new video goes live. I really do hope you all enjoyed your time with me, as I always do with you, your host, AtomicDudMan, and until next time.